All right, we do have breaking news this morning. What is President Trump's latest thinking about his explosive feud with Elon Musk? Well, joining us now, someone who just got off the phone with the president. CNN chief political correspondent Dana Bash joins us now by phone. Dana, what did he tell you?
Good morning, John. Well, he said that he's, quote, well, here's exactly what he said, quote, "I'm not even thinking about Elon. He's got a problem. The poor guy's got a problem." He said he won't be speaking to him for a while.
You call the president on his cell phone at 6:45, he picks up.
Yeah, he picked up. Look, there's been reporting out there that the White House is working to put together a call between Elon Musk and Donald Trump to broker some kind of peace. I asked Donald Trump about that. He said he's not particularly interested in talking to Elon Musk. He said Elon wants to talk to him. He's not ready to talk to Musk, who he called a man who has lost his mind.
This morning, we're continuing our coverage of the ongoing and ever-escalating civil war between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, which began in earnest yesterday, and it strongly resembles the political version of a particularly messy and dramatically entertaining reality TV divorce. Earlier this morning, it was reported that there might be a détente, a peace between Trump and Musk in terms of a phone call later on today. But then Donald Trump spoke directly with ABC and CNN and others and shut that shit down and says he has no interest in having a phone conversation with Elon Musk, whom he says has lost his mind. Ouch. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, this is the early report from Politico. Trump White House aides signal a possible détente with Musk. The two men have been embroiled in a feud over legislation that encompasses Trump's agenda. Signs of a truce are emerging in the increasingly bitter clash of the two of the world's most powerful men. Trump projected an air of nonchalance in an interview Thursday with Politico during a day of sparring over social media with Musk. Separately, White House aides, after working to persuade Trump to temper his public criticism of Musk to avoid escalation, scheduled a call Friday with the billionaire CEO of Tesla to broker a peace. That was the initial reporting. Okay, so like, oh, all right, well, that was always in the cards as we discussed in our coverage. This could change in 24 hours. We made our peace with it. Ron Filipowski of Midas Touch says, of course Trump is going to try to patch things up and publicly make nice with Elon after he got destroyed in the comments for the first time by his most loyal cultists on Truth Social. 90% of these comments are negative, which has never happened before. And he was referring to the initial response to Donald Trump's threat on Truth Social to basically cancel all of Elon Musk's contracts and subsidies with the federal government. Then, that détente was blown to smithereens, at least so far. You never know what might happen in the next 5 minutes, according to reports from both ABC and CNN, both of whom spoke directly to Trump.
So, John, let's file this whole feud under shocking but not surprising. You call the president on his cell phone at 6:45, he picks up.
Yeah, he picked up. Look, there's been reporting out there that the White House is working to put together a call between Elon Musk and Donald Trump to broker some kind of peace. I asked Donald Trump about that. He said he's not particularly interested in talking to Elon Musk. He said Elon wants to talk to him. He's not ready to talk to Musk, who he called a man who has lost his mind.
They have a lot of leverage over each other.
Oh, there's no question about that. Look, Elon Musk, obviously the richest man on the planet, the biggest Republican donor in the history of Republican donors. But this is, in many ways,
contracts with the government.
Yeah, but this is asymmetric. I mean, Donald Trump, to use his phrase, really holds the cards here. Donald Trump could do severe damage to Elon Musk if he were to go vindictive. And he's been remarkably restrained. There's been remarkable restraint from Donald Trump. I mean, look, Elon Musk went nuclear. You're talking about his impeachment, talking about tying him to the world's most notorious sex trafficker, all of this, and Donald Trump has been restrained, but he could.
So let's talk about this again. This is just from ABC, right? So again, Jonathan Karl of ABC spoke directly with Trump. Trump says, hey, Elon's trying to get a hold of me. I have no interest in talking to him. This phone call reporting nonsense is just not true, at least as of the moment. And I agree with the assessment in the sense that that both of these men have leverage over each other, but Donald Trump, as president of the United States, he has a better hand. But I just think it says something, as Carl is noting here, that Trump is intimidated enough by Musk to hesitate before playing that hand. Donald Trump never hesitates in trying to throw his weight around and threaten and bully and cajole both allies and opponents, people in the media, law firms. It doesn't matter. Elon Musk is the only person whom he has hesitated to whom he has hesitated to attack. And I think that says something. I think he recognizes someone who is the closest thing to a peer in terms of power and vindictiveness that Trump has ever encountered as a sitting president.
He could go after the government contracts. He could announce criminal investigations into what Elon Musk was doing on Doge. I mean, you've seen Steve Bannon suggest he could use the Defense Production Act to try to seize parts of SpaceX. I mean, there's a lot
also
that Donald
called for him
Trump
to be deported as well.
Yeah, he also called him being deported. So look, Elon Musk is very powerful. He's also a very big target.
One of the other surprising things here, it took several hours for the vice president, J.D. Vance, to weigh in here. He's usually on social media all the time.
He's on social media. He's got a hair trigger on this stuff. He was silent for 8 hours while Elon Musk, somebody who has been very close to J.D. Vance,
even
went
before
after
Trump.
Yes, they were allies before he was his running mate. And then when J.D. Vance finally came out, what did he do? He didn't hit back at Elon Musk. He didn't really defend specifically, none of it, Donald Trump against those charges. He said, I stand beside Donald Trump. I mean, where else is he going to stand? He's the vice president. So a lot of people in the MAGA movement are wondering where J.D. Vance's loyalties are.
Yeah, it is something. J.D. Vance was radio fucking silent for hours. And it's true. I mean, his defense of Trump is relatively tepid and anemic. I mean, look, there are many lies corporate media tells about Trump. One of the most glaring is that he's impulsive or short-tempered. Anyone who's seen him operate under pressure knows that's ridiculous, which again is just, I mean, that might be as dishonest as anything from J.D. Vance, including the they're eating the cats and the dogs lie that J.D. Vance helped propagate from Trump. Trump is impulsive and petulant. The fact that he is restrained with Musk is itself noteworthy because it's not typical of Trump. Trump usually flies off the fucking handle. He threatens North Korean dictators with nuclear war. He's gone after, Xi Jinping at times, the Chinese dictator, occasionally even Vladimir Putin. He's quicker, as reluctant as he is to now go after foreign autocrats, he hesitates even more with Elon Musk, who is the leader of no country and has no nuclear arsenal. So again, that was a bullshit tweet from J.D. Vance, but also note here, Donald Trump has done more than any person in my lifetime to earn the trust of the movement he leads. I am proud to stand beside him. That's not a, large defense of Trump. That's not, a full-throated defense. Like, how dare Elon Musk speak to the president this way? He's trying to have his cake and eat it too and walk a tightrope, and that's hilarious, and people are right to note it. And I imagine that's not pleasing Donald Trump as well, who demands total loyalty. Donald Trump demands that you serve no master other than he himself. And I love it. And it could also be because J.D. Vance was daydreaming about that impeachment post from Musk, where Musk said on Twitter, he co-signed a tweet from Ian Miles Chong saying that Trump should be impeached and J.D. Vance should take over. Maybe J.D. Vance was too busy daydreaming at the notion of a Musk-sponsored impeachment of Trump, which could lead to Vance claiming the top spot. Of course, that is, improbable to the point of impossibility, because to the extent that Donald Trump has a grip over the Republican Party and Musk has a level of influence over the Republican Party, J.D. Vance is not equal to these two. So, but it wasn't just ABC that Trump spoke to, killing the notion that he and Musk would be talking anytime soon, which again could change in 5 minutes. These are two mercurial, inconsistent, capricious people. He also told the same thing to Dana Bash on CNN.
All right, we do have breaking news this morning. What is President Trump's latest thinking about his explosive feud with Elon Musk? Well, joining us now, someone who just got off the phone with the president. CNN chief political correspondent Dana Bash joins us now by phone. Dana, what did he tell you?
Good morning, John. Well, he said that he's, quote, well, here's exactly what he said, quote, I'm not even thinking about Elon. He's got a problem. The poor guy's got a problem. He said he won't be speaking to him for a while, but he said he wishes Elon Musk well. It was a short conversation. He didn't seem very exercised about it. And the interesting thing is, of course, the context of this is how many people who are in both men's orbits are trying to broker a peace deal, so to speak, and trying to get them to talk because of the concern about the fallout in so many directions. I mean, blast radius from this fallout is really, really big and very wide. But right now, he said he's not interested in that, and he's moving on. And in typical Donald Trump fashion, John, he, before I even asked the question, wanted to talk about what he wanted the storyline to be today, about the economy. He was talking about gas prices. He said he was waiting for the jobs numbers to come out, which I think is about 2 minutes from now. So as he has done his entire career, not just political, but since he was a businessman, trying to push out the narrative and push out the story that he thinks is the most advantageous for him, and he thinks that's the economy now. But, of course, we did briefly talk about Elon Musk, and the headline is he says he has no plans to talk to him right now.
Yeah, just to reiterate, again, because the story overnight has been a whole slew of people working to tone things down and to de-escalate. And he's telling you, I don't want to talk to him right now. And then he also threw that elbow saying that, the poor guy's got a problem. So, if Elon Musk is waking up this morning, he might be that, I imagine, as a new insult.
He might. He also said, I won't be speaking to him for a while, I guess, but I wish him well. He wasn't exercised. He didn't sound angry. He sounded, I guess, more resigned to where their relationship is right now. But he obviously is very well aware of the impact that this is having. And that's why I found it interesting that even though he seemed to try to put a stop to any speculation or, as you were saying, the entreaties from so many people for the two of them to make up, he was still trying to kind of shape the narrative about what is coming out of the White House.
Yeah, so there you go. Donald Trump is putting the kibosh to the notion that he's ready to make peace with Elon Musk anytime soon. Again, that could change. I think two things are conflicting all at once. Trump doesn't want to make the situation worse. He clearly does not want Elon Musk as an adversary. Elon Musk is more willing to pick a fight with Trump than Trump is with Musk, even though as powerful as Musk is, I agree that, it's kind of like we talked about before. Again, I use a lot of Game of Thrones metaphors. I will not apologize for that. It's a social media phenomenon, or it's a pop culture phenomenon, and it's a really good show, at least its first 4 seasons. But there's a reason that show resonated as well as it did, because there are power dynamics amidst all the dragons and the sorcery and all of that are relevant to the actual secular world. And that is, again, Elon Musk was in many ways like the hand of the king in Game of Thrones, which is you're basically the king's right-hand man. You speak on behalf of the king, but your power is tied to what the king's authority is. So if the king dismisses the hand, or if the king contradicts the hand is basically impotent. And Elon Musk is certainly not impotent when you have all that wealth. You're the richest man in the world, and power and wealth correlate. But as Jonathan Karl lays out, at least on paper, Donald Trump has much more leverage over Musk than Musk has over him. Again, which just goes to make Trump's fear of Musk, his wariness of Musk, all the more interesting. And I think it's because he fears that Musk has no limiting principle. When Musk goes on the warpath, in many ways, he escalates even more aggressively than Trump. And the wealth is not necessarily tied to a 2, 4, or 6 year term the way that Trump's political power is, right? And he's probably also worried that Musk doesn't have to win over 40 Republicans, 30 Republicans, maybe not even 10 Republicans, right? Again, they only have a 4-seat or 3-seat margin in the Senate. If they lose 4 senators for this big, beautiful bill, that bill is dead. So he's probably thinking, shit, can the richest man on earth, who's carried so much favor with the Republicans because of me and because of his efforts to get me elected, could he embolden 4 or 5 Republican senators to kill this bill? That is absolutely on the table, even though I don't think Musk will win the civil war for MAGA's heart. It is possible he could flip or embolden those who are already predisposed to flip against Trump's bill, thinking all I have to do is just duck down and remain, basically go on the defensive for the rest of Trump's presidency, and then I'll have the world's richest man as a benefactor in the post-Trump Republican Party. I have no idea, but again, it says something that Trump is simultaneously juggling with that and also still offended enough and publicly humiliated enough that he is not seeking to make peace with Musk. We'll see what happens, but in the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.